Welcome again, students. In today's video, we will be looking at the Grade 3 Diagnostic Test for June 2024. Okay, usually these videos for the Grade 3 Mathematics, I would have done them in two parts, but in this video, I will be attempting all the questions in one sitting. Hopefully, it's not going to be too long for you guys. All right, having said that, also remember to subscribe to this channel if you've not yet done so. Like and share with a friend. All right, let's get into the questions. There are 60 questions, so we will see how we go about answering those. All right, so another thing to note is that the questions are in two columns on the paper, so I'll have to work my way down to the end of the paper, and then come back up for the other questions in the next column. All right, so hopefully that's not too confusing for you guys. All right, so let's get to the first question. All right, so it says, look at the number given in the box below. Use it to answer questions 1 to 3. So the same number, right, will be used to answer 3 questions. We'll use this number to answer 3 questions. All right, question 1 says, which of the following is the number written in words? Is it 1,706? 1,076, 176. The answer is B. I didn't set this up as yet. Let me check. The answer, let me check on the, okay, it's good. All right, so the answer is B, 1,076. Let's get to question 2. Remember, it's still related to the number above. What is the value of the digit 0 in the number? So here we have the 0. They're asking us for the value. Is it 0 ones, 0 tens, or 0 hundreds? Let's look at where the number is. So this has to do with your place value. So this would have been ones. This is tens. And so the number is in the hundred place. So it's a 0. So it represents 0 hundredths. The answer is C. Question 3, still related to that same number. What is the number rounded to the nearest tens? Okay, look at the options, 1,100, 1,080, or 1,000. What is the number rounded to the nearest 10? So again, we're going to be paying attention to the digit in the tens place because that's where we're going to be rounding the number. All right, so the number in this 10th place where we're going to be rounding is a 7. All right, just a quick reminder, when we are rounding off, we're going to now look at the number to the right, which is 6. So if it's 5 or more, we're going to be adding 1 to the digit in the rounding place. So if we add 1 to 7, it becomes 8. And of course, the 6 changes to 0. So the answer would be 1,080, okay? So 1,080 is the number rounded to the nearest 10. So is it closer to 80 or was it closer to 70? In this case, it was closer to 80. All right, remember also that this is not necessarily a teaching video. I'm somewhat trying to explain the questions as best as possible. But for me to actually teach each of these topics, that would be a lot in a paper like this that has 60 questions. All right, so let's get to question 4. Which number is between 3,425 and 3,436? Is it A, 3,438? So of course, this is more than the number. So it doesn't fall between. It says between. So we're looking for a number that is greater than the first number, but less than the second number. So this would not be correct. This is more than the second number, and this is less than. So this number doesn't come between either. The correct answer would be C, 3,432. That's a number that comes between those two numbers identified above. All right, so the answer for 4 is C. Question 5, which number represents fifth? And you have to be careful with this question because just, putting an article in would have changed the meaning of this question, okay? So it says, which number represents fifth? Like if fifth meaning position, okay? And so the answer would be B. It could not have been C. C represents a fifth or 1/5. That's different than from saying fifth, as in the position. Are you first or second or third? Okay, so be careful with how you read the questions, so that you answer correctly. So the answer for 5 would be B, fifth. Okay, for C, it would have been 1/5 or a fifth. Okay, so let's get to question 6. There are 10 circles in the box below. What fraction of the circles is shaded? Okay, so we have 10 circles, and from what we've seen, they have shaded 5. So if they have shaded 5 out of 10, right, then it would have been a half of them that's shaded, okay? 1 out of every 2. Okay, 5 over 10 is an equivalent fraction for 1 over 2. So you might be looking for 5 over 10 and not seeing it, but you have to remember that what fraction has the same value, and it would have been half of the circles were shaded. Let's get to question 7. All right, it says, which letter represents 170, 170 on the number line? All right, is it P or Q or R? So we know that this is 150 here. Okay, and pretty much it seems to be in increments of 10. So every line represents another 10. So this would have been 160, 170, 180, 190, and then we get to 200. So the answer is, which is represented by Q, it would have been 170 at Q. So the answer is B. Let's get to question 8. The cards below are number cards in order from 1 to 10. Use the cards to answer questions 8 and 9. So this card will answer, we will need it for 2 questions. All right, so first question says, which of the following could be said about all the cards that do not have a star on them? Okay, so let's look at the cards that do not have stars. It's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Those are the ones that do not have cards. All right, are they even numbers from 1 to 10, odd numbers from 1 to 10, counting numbers from 1 to 10? And the answer would be odd numbers. Okay, odd numbers. Let's get to question 9. Question 9 says, some cards have a star on them. Which number would all of these cards be divisible by? Would we divide these by 2, by 3, by 5? Let's go look at the numbers with the star. We see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Those are all even numbers. They are all divisible by 2. That's the correct answer, 2. All right, let's get to question 10. Which number would come next in the pattern? 5, 10, 15. What number would be next? They are counting by 5, so next number, the correct answer would be 8, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. All right, so we are now at question 11, and again, we have another picture that we will now use to answer 3 questions. All right, so let's look at the picture. We have set 1, which has 5 students, set 2, another 5 students, and then set 4 with 4 students. Well, they are students or children. We could say children. All right, so let's go to the first question, question 11. Which set has the least number of children? Least meaning the smallest number of children. So the first set had 5. Second set also had 5. The set 3 has 4. So that has the least number of children. So for question 11, the answer is set 3. They have 4 children, so that has the least number of children. All right, question 12. Which set has an even number of children? So if this is 5, this is 5. And let's get to the other one. 4. That means that set 3 has an even set of students because 4 is an even number. So set 3, the answer would be A. Okay, let's get to question 13. Which two sets have the same number of children? And basically, since we have counted already, 5 in this set 5, it would be set 1 and 2. The answer is A, sets 1 and 2. Okay, let's get to question 14. All right, so question 14 says, which of the following is listed in ascending order? Ascending means increasing in value, right? Going up, not down. So increasing, meaning getting bigger or larger. So let's look at the set of numbers. Which one do we see where the number starts from the very smallest to the largest number? 361, 353. 353 is less than, so that's not ascending. 353, 357, 361, that's ascending. So the answer would be B. We look at C, 353, then 361, then we're back down to 357. So that's not actually ascending. Went up, then it went back down. All right, so let's get to question 15. A coin is shown below. Use it to answer questions 15 and 16. All right, so here's the coin, and we should all know what these coins represent. What's the value of this coin? And this is a $20 coin. All right, so that's the answer. It's a $20 coin. The answer is C. Question 16. Which of the following has a value equal to the coin above? Remember, we said it's a $20 coin. So which of these would have a value that's equal to $20? Is it two $10, two $5, two $1? And that would be two $10. Two $10 gives you 20. I hope you guys know your coins, your money. All right, so let's get to question 17. Look at the information given in the oval below. Use it to answer question 17. 4, and that's the less than sign, right? 4 is less than what? So they're asking now, which number could replace the box? Is it 3, 4, or 5? So 4 is less than which of these numbers? Is it 3, 4, or 5? Of course, 4 is less than 3. Okay, you have to be able to read your signs. This is a less than sign. Remember, the point goes to the smaller number. Where it opens up, that goes to the bigger number. So the point is read first in this instant because we see the point first. So we're talking about less than the other side. Okay, so question 18. Which of the following represents 5 quarters? 5 quarters. All right, so perhaps you might need to draw shapes and all of that to figure out what 5 quarters would be, right? However you need to answer this question, then you have to do what you think is necessary. All right, so 5 quarters. Okay, so if I had a cake, this cake would have 4 quarters, right? 4 out of 4, right? So a quarter is 1 over 4. So 5 quarters would be This cake has 4 out of 4 quarters, right? But I need 5 quarters, so another cake, I would have to take a piece out of it, right? Plus these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 4 quarters here, and then another one, okay? Plus another quarter, so 4 out of 4 plus another quarter would give me 5 out of 4. That's 5 quarters, okay? Or if we had done multiplication, a quarter times 5, because it's 5 quarters, 5 over 1, that will give us 5 over 4. So the answer is B, 5 over 4, okay? Didn't say 5 and a quarter, it said 5 quarters, right? So we want 5 quarters, not 5 wholes and a quarter, all right? Again, you have to pay attention to the wording of these questions. All right, so we are now at question 19. Question 19 says, a chocolate bar is shown below. The portions of the chocolate bar eaten by Bev, Roy, and Pat are also given. Use the information to answer question 19. So Bev ate a quarter, Roy ate a half, and Pat ate 1/6. All right, so what's the question? The question says, who ate the largest portion? Is it Bev, Roy, or Pat? All right, so if Bev, let us try to do this quickly. So if Bev ate a quarter, it would be that we had divided the cake into 4. That's for, and Bev got 1 piece. Bev got this piece, all right, just this piece. So think about that in your, and let me do the other one. So all right, so that's Bev. All right, now it says Roy ate half, so we would have divided it into 2, and Roy would have eaten all of this part. Okay, so that's Roy. And then for Pat, said it was divided into 6 parts. And Pat's got 1/6, this piece. So the question asks, who ate the largest portion? And obviously, hopefully it's obvious, that would be Roy. Roy ate half. So the answer would be B. All right, so we're now at question 20. It says the diagram below shows 4 children standing in line for ice cream. Use it to answer question 20. So they're standing in line for some ice cream. Question 20 says Rita left the line. Who is now second in the line? So Rita left. Rita is no longer here. So Troy is still first. J is now second because Rita left the line. So the answer would be A, J. J is now second in the line. Okay, so now we're at question 20, which is 1/3 of the question so far. If you want to take a break at this point, you can, and then you can always come back to the rest of the video. But if you want to continue, here it goes. All right, so question 21. It says diagrams S, C, and U are shown below. Use them to answer questions 21 and 22. All right, so they're different diagrams and they have been shaded in different parts. Now, question 21 says, how many parts of diagram S are unshaded? So for diagram S, the unshaded parts would be these. Okay. And so it would be 4 parts that are unshaded. Okay, 4. So it's unshaded because it looks more like the paper. The shaded part would look like something colored in, so that's the one that was shaded. All right, so the question again was, how many parts are unshaded? So the answer would be B, 4 parts. Let's get to question 22, sorry. Which diagram represents 6, 8 shaded, right? 6 over 8 parts, 6 out of 8 parts shaded. All right, so let's look at the diagrams again. Which one had 6 parts out of 8? So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there are 8 parts total. Let's look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this one has 10 parts total. So this would have been 6 over 10. But T has 6 out of 8 parts shaded. So don't just go counting what you see shaded. Remember, you have to also look at the whole. All right, how many total parts? So the answer would have been T had 6 out of 8 parts shaded. All right, question 23. Which number sentence can be used to check the answer for 4 times 5 equals 20? All right, so what could be used to check? And of course, since we multiplied 4 times 5 to give us 20, then we don't have to divide. One of those, it could have been 5 that we used to divide 20. No, they have used it 4. So the answer is 20 divided by 4. So when you divide the product by one of the factors, right, then it should give you the other factor. So that's what we could use to check. All right, so the answer for 23 is A. Because remember, when you divide, like I said, then it should give you the other factor. Okay, so question 24. Which of the following, what is the result of the following? 546 plus 63. So when we add these two numbers together, 6 plus 3, that's 9. 6 and 4, that's 10. 1 plus 5, that's 6. So the answer is B, 609. 609. All right, so let's get to question 25. Which of the following will give a difference of 640? Okay, so when we say difference, again, they already have the minus sign there, so you just minus each of these to see. This could not be correct, first of all, because if you're subtracting from 500, it would not give us a difference, right? The answer could not have been 600 and something, because we are subtracting. That means that the 500 is being reduced, so that could not be the answer. No, this could also not be the answer because, of course, but we'd have to work it out to see. All right, let's see if we can quickly work it out. 9, 10 minus 270. All right, 0. We didn't have enough, so we had to go and borrow. 8 minus 2 is 6. All right, so let's do the other one. 720, 160. All right, 0. 2 minus we can't, so we have to go borrow. That's 6, 5. So the answer would be A. If you have to do your calculations, then that's what you do. All right, question 26. Which of the following is closest to the sum of 498 and 501? All right, you can actually look at this and tell what the answer is, because 501, you take this one off and put it to the other side, it would be 499. So the closest one would have been the 500 plus the 499. So this would have been the closest. All right, but if you wanted to go ahead and add these two numbers, the 498 and the 501, then you could do that and then see which of these came closest to that answer, right? And so again, you would have seen that the answer is A, right? It's closest to 1,000 compared to being close to 900 or 1,100. Okay, so just by adding them, you would have seen which one is closer. So I'm just sometimes going to be given the answer, but if you have to work it out, then you have to work it out just to see the answers. That's fine. You do what you need to do. All right, so which of the following represents the result of 15 divided by 3? Which here shows 15 divided by 3. So pretty much 15 divided into groups of 3. And see, three things here, 3, 3, 3, 3. So we are dividing into groups of 3. The answer is B. Let's get to question 28. Which of the following gives the same result as 8 times 6? Is it 6 plus 8? 6 times 8? 6 minus 8. The answer will be 6 times 8. 8 times 6 is the same as 6 times 8. Same answer. Okay, let's go to, doesn't matter which number is first. If you're multiplying two numbers, if you change the numbers in the place where the answer will still be the same. All right, question 29. Which number is 1 less than 357? 1 less. You're going to subtract 1 from this number. The answer would have been B, 356. That's 1 less. If we take 1 from 357, the answer is 356. All right, let's get to question 30. Question 30 says, look at the children below doing different activities. Use it to answer questions 30 and 31. All right, so look at the children. And then it says, which of the following would result in the number of children shown? So how many children? Okay, but let's look at the options for the answers. Is it 4 times 3, 4 times 4, or 12 times 3? Okay, so how many children are there? If we counted, you would have gotten 12. So which of those would pretty much result in 12? Is it 4 times 3, 4 times 4, or 12 times 3? And the answer is 4 times 3. Of course, you could also look at the grouping. Okay, 4 groups of 3. Here's one group, another group, another group, another group. All right, 4 times 3. Question 31. Which number is half of the number of children shown? So how many children were there? We established it's 12. Half of 12 is 6. Or if we divide it this way, that's half. 2, 4, 6. So half of it would be 6. The answer is 6. All right, so we have gone halfway through the paper. It's over halfway. We're now at question 32. So again, if you want to take a break here, you can, and then you come back to the rest of the questions. All right, so question 30. Again, we're going to be using this information to answer two questions, questions 32 and 33. The diagram below shows two boxes, box M and box N. Box M that's labeled and then box N. So box N can hold 4 books. So box N, 4 books. Then box M can hold 2 times the number of books. So if box N can hold 4, that means box M can hold 2 times 4. 2 times 4. Right? 2 times 4 is how much? 8. Now, I don't know what the question is, but I'm just putting the information based on what we have seen so far. All right, let's get to the question. It says, how many of the books of the same size can box M hold? And I just did that, right? So if it can hold twice the amount, it would be 2 times 4, or we could have done 4 plus 4, right? 4 plus 4 more, that's 2 times the amount. So the answer is 8. So for 32, the answer is C, 8 books. All right, let's get to the next question. The next question says, what is the total number of books that can hold in box M and box N combined? So we want to know how much can hold in both boxes together. So it would have been 8 plus 4. Remember, box M can hold 8, and then box N was 4. So 8 plus 4, the answer is 12. So for question 33, the answer is A. All right, let's get to question 34. Alex has, let me see if there's any, okay. So Alex has 31 toy cars to share with his 2 friends. Use this information to answer questions 34 and 35. Alex has decided to keep 7 of the toy cars. How many toy cars will Alex now have to share with his friends? So he had 31. He took 7. Okay. So he now has 24. Because when we subtract 7 from 31, we are left with 24. So he now has 24, which is A, to share with his friends. Now it says, question 35, Alex will share the toy cars equally between his 2 friends. What is the total number of toy cars each of his 2 friends will receive? So it would be 24 divided by 2. 22 goes 1, 24 goes 2. So the answer is A, 12. So each friend would receive 12. All right. The number sentence below was used to solve a problem. Use it to answer question 36. 6 plus 3 equal 9. Which problem could the number sentence be used to solve? All right, let's look at A. Ted has 6 pencils. He buys 3 more. How many pencils does he have? So 6, and he buys 3 more, right? So we want to know how many she would have now. All right, so that one seems to be the answer, but let's look at the other 2. Okay, so to see if the problem that we had, if that number sentence could solve the problems. All right, so Ted bought 6 pencils for each of his 3 friends. So 6 for this one, 6 for the other one, and 6 for that one, right? Could we use that quest to solve it? No. Or could it have been 6 times 3? But that says 6 plus 3, so this is not correct. All right, and then Ted has 6 pencils. He gives away 3 of them. If he has 6 and he gives away 3, we are doing subtraction. So the correct answer would have been A. That could have been used. That problem could have been could have used the number sentence to solve. All right, let's get to question 37. Which item is sold by the dozen? Is it melon, orange, pineapple? And typically it would be oranges that are sold by the dozen. Usually somebody doesn't go to the market to buy a dozen melons, right? Or a dozen pineapples. But you would typically buy a dozen oranges. All right, so remember guys, the questions are on both sides of the paper. So now we're focusing on the right column for question 38. Which set represents a half of a dozen? So you have to know what a dozen things is, right? What number represents a dozen? And that's 12. So half of 12, right, would be 6. Okay, so half of 12 is 6. So the answer is C. Okay, so you have to know what's half a dozen. So before you can know what's half a dozen, you have to know what's a dozen. A dozen is 12 things, so a half would be 6. All right, question 39. Which of the following is longer than 1 meter? Again, you have to be mindful of different measurements. What's a meter, millimeter, centimeter? Have an estimate of what that would look like, right? So a millimeter and centimeter, you usually find those on your rulers. They're pretty small, right? But when we talk about kilometers, we're talking about longer distances, right? It covers a lot more, a longer length. So, because usually that measures what the distance that we travel in terms of car and all of that. All right, we can use meter to perhaps measure a room and so on, but a kilometer is way more. We use that to measure longer distances. So the answer would be C, right? That one is larger than a meter. And of course, if you know your metric table, then that answer would have been pretty easy. All right, so question, again, there's a picture, shows 3 children and their dates of birth. Use it to answer questions 40 and 41. So we have Shelley, August 2015, Kayla, October 2014, and Troy, May 2016. So they ask who is the oldest. Is it Shelley, Kayla, or Troy? So whoever was born first, right? Of 2015, 2014, 2016, right? It would have been Kayla. 2014 would have made her the oldest. He was born before the others, because of course 2014 comes before 2015 and it comes before 2016. All right, so question 41. How old would Shelley be in June 2024? How old would Shelley be in June 2024? So let's look at Shelley. Shelley was born August 2015. So how old would she be in June 2024? All right, so again, we measure from August 2015 to August 2016. It would have been 1 year. If we continue to do that, then it gets us to 2024. And remember, they said June, so it would be before her birthday. Okay, so June comes before August. It would have been before her birthday. So 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. Sorry, let's start again. 2016 would have made her 1, okay? August 2016. Then 2017, let's go again. So August 2016 should have been 1. Then 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Okay, 2023 she would have been 8. 2024 she would have been 9, but it's not yet her birthday, so she's going to be 8 in June. Okay, when it gets to her birthday, she'd be 9, but it would have been 8 years. Okay, so the answer for 41 is 8. And of course, there are other ways to work it out. I'm just trying to be as practical as possible. So hopefully that helped. All right, so question 42. Which clock shows 25 minutes to 4 o'clock? 25 minutes before 4 o'clock. Okay, and the answer is C. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes before we get to 4 o'clock. The answer is C. All right, so let's go to question 43. The diagram below represents one picture in a larger frame. Use it to answer question 43. All right, so it's asking how many pictures of the same size can fit in the entire frame. So this took up 1, 2, 3, 3 times 4. Sorry, 3 times 3. It would have taken up 9 altogether, all right? 3 by 3. So this would have been another one. All right, and then another one here. And the same thing here. So hope you guys are counting with me. Okay, and so it would have been B. All right, let's get to the next question. Question 44. Alex painted 1 meter of sidewalk in yellow and white strips in equal lengths as shown below. Use it to answer question 44. All right, so there are 5 yellow stripes. What is the length of 1 yellow stripe? Okay, so 1 meter, right, would be equal to, if you divide it into 10 parts, right, then what would 1 part be? Okay, so would it be 10 centimeters each? Would it be 100 centimeters each? Would it be 1,000? So we have to know how many centimeters would be equal to a meter, and it's 100 centimeters, so a total of 100. So if we divide 100 into 10 parts, then each part would have been 10 centimeters. So the answer is A. Again, knowledge of the metric system would be helped very well. All right, question 45. And they have brought this question before. Here it is again, or something similar. All right, so let's go. A picture of a leaf and an apple is drawn on a grid below. Each square has an area of 1 square unit. Use it to answer questions 45 and 46. What is the area of the apple? So pretty much you're looking to see how many square units, how many squares does this shape occupy, right? And so we kind of have to give an estimate because it doesn't have definite size. But we can use some estimates to figure out what would have been closest to the number of square units here. So let's try to count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, but we have some extras that we can group together. 16, 17, 18, 19. All right, because remember we're using pieces. So even though there were some pieces here, we're adding them to those pieces that we didn't have. So when we look at the options here, it's more than 16, but we definitely would not get to 30. So because it's an estimate, then the closest would have been 19. Okay, but sometimes remember that these are pieces, so we're pretty much putting pieces together. Okay, so that's why some of them were not touched because they would have been added to one of those other pieces there. That's pretty much how I figure it would be easiest to estimate. All right, so for 45, the answer is B. 46 says, about how much more space does the apple take up than the leaf? So we're going to have to do the same thing with the leaf and then find the difference, right, between the two to see how much more how much more space the apple takes up than the leaf. All right, so let's go back to and let's try to see. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm trying to find all the whole pieces. 12, 13, 14. Okay. All right, so it's about 14 or 15. So let's look at our answer to see. Again, this is an estimate. So let's look at our answers to see. All right, so we have 19 for the apple, and I'm saying about 14 or 15 for the leaf, 14 or 15, right? So in terms of the difference there, what do you see as a possible answer? Would it have been 13? No, there's not a difference of 13. Would it have been 7? Since we said that the apple is 19, 19 minus 15 would be 4, 19 minus 14 would have been 5, so around 4 or 5. So the closest answer here would be A of 4 square units, right? So that would be the best estimate. All right, and I'm trying to answer based on how you would try to do it yourselves, right, as students. So that would be the best estimate there. All right, let's get to question 47. The length and width of a door not drawn to scale is shown below. Use it to answer question 47. What is the perimeter of the door? All right, so we have the measurements here. Remember the perimeter of a shape, and in this case it's a door, would be the distance around. So the total measurement right around. And for perimeter, we have a formula that we can use, especially for regular shapes. Length plus width times 2. Or we can simply add all the sides, okay? So if we added all the sides, 5 plus 7 plus 7 plus 5, that would give us 24. You can go ahead and add it for yourself or try to use the formula. Leave the formula here. Length plus width, okay, times 2. All right, so you can use a formula or you can just add all the sides and you should be able to find the answer there. All right, question 48. A shoe was placed on a ruler as shown in the box below. Use it to answer question 48. So I think this question came before, something very similar, but they had used a different item. I think it had been either a pen or a pencil. So these questions keep coming back, so pay attention to these questions. What is the length of the shoe? No, I don't want you to look at right here only. I don't want you to look here only, right? This is where the shoe ends. Remember, it does not start at the beginning. So it's not 7 because the shoe didn't start measuring from the beginning. It started measuring from here. So how many units? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the length of the shoe is 4 units, which would be 4 centimeters. Okay, pay attention to where the starting point is. It didn't start at 0. Then it would have been 7 if it started at 0. It started at 3. You count the number of units, and that would have been 4 units. So the answer is A. To pay attention to these things, students. All right, let's get to question 49. A bag with some flour and a watermelon, as well as the weight of each, is shown below. Use the information to answer question 49. All right, so we have the flour and they have the weight shown in grams, 2,000 grams, and then they have the watermelon and it measures 1 kilogram, 1 kg, which is true about the weight of the flour and the watermelon. So for us to be able to tell, we have to pretty much have both of them in the same units, right? So we could change the kilograms to grams, or we can change the grams to kilograms, right? So we're looking at the same units. So 1,000 grams is equal to 1 kg. So 2,000 grams would have been 2 kg. So 1,000 grams is 1 kg. So if we have 1 kg, that means this is 1,000 grams. Okay. Or if we want to change this part out, how many kilograms would this part be? Since 1,000 grams is equal to a kilogram, then this 2,000 would have been 2 kg. Okay, so which is true about the weight? Is the flour equal to the watermelon? No, right? Is the flour less than the watermelon? No. Is the flour greater than? Yes, it is, because it has 2 kg, whereas the watermelon is 1 kg, or it has 2,000 grams, whereas the watermelon has 1,000 grams. So the flour is greater than the watermelon. All right, question 50. Which of the following represents a line? All right, so which of these represents a line? All right, so the first one, that's a ray, has an endpoint and it goes off in the other direction. The second one is a line, right? It goes off in opposite directions continuously. And then the third one is pretty much an endpoint. It stops. All right, it has a definite distance. So the line would be B. Okay, where you have the 2 arrows showing that it goes off in both directions indefinitely. That's the answer, B. All right, question 51. Which is likely to be the temperature on so we're at the last 10 questions, guys. Thank you for staying with me so far. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video with a friend. Which is likely to be a temperature on a thermometer on the day shown in the picture below? All right, can you see that the sun is shining and they are super hot? Okay, is it 0 degrees, 10 degrees Celsius, or 35 degrees Celsius? So 0 would have been the point at which, it's freezing. So the lower the temperature, then the cooler it is. Okay, the higher the temperature, then the hotter it is. So up to 3, then, would have been safe to say that this one would have made them be feeling that sunshine, that's heat. All right, question 52. Which diagram shows a closed path? Is it A, B, or C? Closed, right? Would be C. All right, so let's look at question 53. So matchsticks are shown below. Some of these matchsticks were used to make a triangle. Each matchstick represented one side of the triangle. All right, so use this information to answer question 53. How many matchsticks would be needed to make 4 triangles? So for a triangle has 3 sides, you would need 3 triangles. Sorry, you need 3 matchsticks to make a triangle. So if you are making 4 matchsticks, you would need 3 times 4, right? 3 for each of the 4. So 3 times 4, that gives us a total of 12. You need 12 matchsticks to make 4 triangles because you need 3 for each triangle. So question 54. A shape is shown below. Use it to answer questions 54 and 55, which is true about the shape. That's question 54. It has 4 line segments, 4 equal angles, 4 curved lines. Of course, the lines aren't curved and the angles aren't equal. These are the angles right here. They're not equal. So they are 4. This shape has 4 line segments, ends. Okay, and so the answer would be A. So let's go to question 55. It says, how many angles greater than a right angle does the shape have? You have to know what a right angle is. Okay, so let's look at the shape again. What's a right angle? A right angle would have been, see if I can draw like this. So how many of the angles would be more than this? If we look at this angle here, this would have been the right angle here. So this one is more. This would have made it the right angle because this would have to go straight up. So this angle is more. All right. This would have been the right angle here. So this is less. And this angle is also less. So the answer then would be 2 angles are greater. 2 angles are greater than right angles. So the answer is A. Question 56. The diagram below shows a spinner. It has 2 circles and 3 rectangles on it. Use the spinner to answer question 56. What is the probability of the spinner stopping on a rectangle? All right, so we have 3 rectangles and 2 circles. They said, what's the probability? All right, so is it certain that it's going to stop? No, because we do have circles too. Is it unlikely? No, it's more likely than unlikely because you have more rectangles than circles. So it is likely, right? Not unlikely, but likely that it will stop on a rectangle. Answer is B. All right, let's get to question 57. Almost at the end of the paper, guys. Pam has been taking care of a plant for the past 4 weeks. She measured the plant each week and recorded its height in the bar graph below. Use the graph to answer questions 57 and 58. All right, so we see the height in centimeters. The bar graph shows Pam's plant height over 4 weeks. So this is the first week, second week, third week, fourth week. All right, and the measurements. So it says, question 57 says, in which week did the plant measure 8 centimeters? All right, so in which week did the plant measure 8 centimeters? Let's make it a bit bigger so we can see which matches to 8 centimeters. And it would have been, let me see, here is somewhere in the middle, around here, around 3. This one seems to be in line with the 6. So this one seems to be in line with the 8. So week 3 would have been, week 3 would have been week 3 would have been 8. So the answer for 57 is B, week 3. Let's get to question 58. About how many centimeters did the plant grow each week? Is it 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, or 10? So each week, they didn't ask us at the end how tall the plant was each week. Okay, so let's look at the information here. All right, so the difference between 3 and 6 would have been 3. And then between week 2 and 3 would have been a difference of 2. And then between week is another 2. So yes, there was one that grew 3, and then it grew 2, and then it grew 2 more. Okay. Okay, so in week 1 she measured it. So it was 3, then 2, then 2. So is it 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters? So about how much each week? Then I would say 2. Okay, because that's the most common. So we're going to be using that as our average in this case. All right, so the answer would be 2 centimeters. All right, question 59. The diagram below shows stickers. Use it to answer question 59. So we have 6 stickers plus P equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so this is 6. This is 6. And this is 11. All right, so which of the following could be used to find the value of P? So 6 plus something equals 11. So what would we use now to find the value of P? Would not be 11 take away 5, because we don't know what that is, right? But we have 6. If we take 6 plus something, if we take out the 6 that we already have, that would leave us with P. So the answer would have been 11 minus 6, right? Take out what we already know, then that will leave what's the rest of it. All right, so that would be the answer, 11 minus 6. All right, and then question 60, final question. What value must K have in the number sentence below to make the sentence true? All right, 9 plus K is equal to 14 plus 3. 14 plus 3 is 17. So it's 17. Oops, let me. So 9 plus what gives us 17? That's what we're trying to find. 9 plus what number would be so that this side is also 17. 9 plus 8 is 17. Okay, so that takes care of the 60 questions on the paper. Guys, remember to follow, right, by subscribing, sharing with a friend. And as I usually say, I will see you in the next video.